Okay, okay. Welcome back, Stasis. This is the game we're playing. It's Stasis. It's cool. The power pad. There's a toolbox. There's a work light. There's a work light. There's closed power cell housings. There's all kinds of things going on around here, and I can't wait to delve in and find out exactly what I'm going to miss like an idiot. Let's start with the toolbox. That seems like a pretty safe bet. We'll probably get something cool from there. I thought I was going to die then.
Always expanding. That place scares me.
Thanks.
Sorry.
I was certain that when I saw that power pad spark that I just hit a game over state, but never mind. What did I even get? I was kind of caught up. High temperature slug gun. Cool. Does that mean we can do some works? Can we do some works?
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that, I can tell you that for damn sure. I don't know why I ever thought it would. About this fella then. Oh, we need an omega. We need an omega to get into this by the looks of it. How much we can do here then? Can we not? Ah, here's the exit. This big fucking orb. This big sphere.
Halo thing, herpetotoxicity is at an elevated level.
Oh. Oh.
Where is Rebecca?
She's in the containment area.
What are you doing, music? Music, calm down. Calm down, music. Music, why are you drowning out the voice acting?
Always expanding.
No one asked for your opinion, music. Music, stop. Music, cease. Music.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna go to the next screen and pretend this isn't happening. If we can, like, real quick, just fucking do this. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We got to a place that isn't being patrolled by a killer robot, and the music went away. What is... Ugh. Oh. Is this... This is Project Kitchen Knife, right? Is this Project Kitchen Knife? I think this might be Project Kitchen Knife. It upsets me fundamentally that this one's still moving. That's not a nice thing. That's not good. Let's read this PDA. Let's get some information before we do anything stupid. Dr. Marvin DeSantos. Man, that bitch from shipping won't get off my back. You fuck a girl real good and she just comes crawling back. If she doesn't get out of my hair, I'll have her moved off ship. Dr. Milan is a prick, but he looks after me like that. I gotta say, being on Project Seed is awesome, man. Okay, so we gotta do some pretty noxious shit, but in exchange I got a lot of protection and an honorary title. Dr. DeSantos. I like it. Dr. Milan knows about my contacts and private cargo that arrives on board, and I know he hates it, but there ain't anybody else prepared to work under Dr. Bachman. The guy is one twisted fuck and also one of my best customers. I get inputs, sure, but my own private lab is what manufactures Bachman's pathway shit. Funny, I never realised how dependent these smart asses smart asses of science, that's a good title, that, are on drugs. Personally, never touch the stuff. You gotta have your wits about you, man, especially around here. I like how he's calling his PDA man. He's talking to him, to fucking his own logs, and it's, you know, openly admitting to smuggling drugs as well within these own logs, as if no one else is gonna read them. Wow, Dr. Williams, Charlotte. I never would have figured that uptight woman was a slut, but holy hell, she just gave me the ride of my fucking life. Who'd have thought it? Slinky lace under that lab coat of hers, and for a woman in her mid-40s, a body that makes you want to get on your knees and howl at the moon. Against the table, pressed up against the viewport windows, on top, underneath, like a friggin' rattlesnake. Of course she's Looney Tunes. Probably thinks I'm her dead husband or something. Like I care, as long as she keeps coming to me to fulfill her needs. Crazy, but smart. And she has no idea how much I know about her little project. I know the details. People just think I'm a smack-talking smartass, but I've been training on the Groom Lake since I was 16. I studied chemistry and genetics, aced all of that too. He thinks I'm too stupid to understand. Thinking I could have gotten myself in too deep here. The drug thing was fine, but the whole industrial espionage thing is kind of freaky. I don't think Dr. Milan knows. I know Lincoln watches me with an eagle eye, but he can't know for sure. If he did, he'd eject my ass from the ship with the rest of the failed hybrids. God damn, the money is good. I earned my year's salary by sending some info to Black Star Industries. My contact gave me more money than I could conceive for leaking one report. One. I met the guy who was on leave. He was a smug dickhead who somehow knew what I did, and then he flashed the cash. I've got no loyalties to the company. I know how Dr. Milan treats loyal staff. That guy can turn on a dime when it suits him. I've heard of weird shit going on down in the decks below, and Seed has me feeling it will soon be time to get the hell out of Dodge pronto. 1 or 2 more reports might just give me what I need. This guy's a fucking idiot. Like, he's using a company PDA to log his little illegal activities against that same fucking company. Like, any employer worth their salt, especially one as crazy and conniving as Dr. Milan, is going to be reading everything people put in these, you know. Jesus Christ. Nobody knows about my little acts of espionage, but who'd care? The ship is falling apart. Some of these fucked up things that Bachman and Milan have made are on the prowl. I stashed away my cash as soon as I heard things are going wrong, but money ain't gonna make a spit's worth of difference if we all get killed. Milan's taking all this way too calmly. Actually, I say he's enjoying all this. He came into the lab this morning. He still makes us report to the lab, and was grinning the whole damn time, his eyes all red, like he was coming down from a high. The guy does not need drugs for a high. His general fucked upness is what he rides. And here was me thinking Batman was the crazy one. It's just us. Oh god. Not even Batman's around now. Charlotte was dragged away to the labs a few days ago. We're sealed off from the other decks. I reckon it's only a matter of time before Milan decides to do something about me too. I've been living on this ship for years. I know about hidden passages that even Milan doesn't know about. I'll get over to the communications array and let off a signal. Hopefully they'll get to us before Dr. Milan finds out. Presumably, they didn't. Oh, he never made it to the communications array, I assume. Kinda want to read that one too. I want to know... I'm hoping this is going to be that Bachman fellow. I mean, there's Charlotte as well. It seems like there's 3 of them in this lab. But Bachman seems to be the guy who was in charge around here, and I kind of want to know exactly what was happening. Can we read this safely? We can't read this safely. We're not going to get lashed at by a big pile of blob. There we go, Bachman. Very nice. I never said I'd make it to 60. Ha! 85, you fuckers. Old and still cooking with gas. 3 bastard kids and I outlived them all. Wow. Okay, so I was young when I had them. Those girls never even knew I was the father, of course. I had to switch the DNA samples so they didn't know the little shits were mine. I'm too old now for all that, but you never completely lose your eye for the ladies. I might have false teeth, Dr. Milan, but I'm no moron. The good of humanity? I'm a sociopath and alleged rapist of women, but your little speech to the crew was less sincere than anything I could say with a straight face. At least you knew how to turn a blind eye. Whenever I have to get rid of some troublesome subjects, right, Milan? The new gas for the chambers is working splendidly. An improved kill rate of 60% on the old formula. Why is he making gas chambers? Is it just to remove his failed experiments or what? I watch those poor fuckers writhe and die. I have a viewing window now so I can make sure it's done. If I were a moral man, I'd call it perverse. It's lucky for Project Seed that I don't give a shit. I thrive when I don't have to answer to anyone with a conscience. Yeah, Batman's pretty fucking crazy. But like, from what I can tell, Milan is the guy who's profiting off all this, but it was Bachman who was really doing the fucked up shit. This will not do, not at all. I need more subjects. The rejection ratio of the DNA splicing is stratospheric. That's a big word. So not only do I need more bodies, but I need better ones. They bring me imports and strays, but the best results are achieved with crew members. One cannot prey too often on those, of course, no matter the need. My chosen ones were always those who wouldn't be missed. The furnaces are inadequate for my disposal requirements. I'm told they're too hot and they could destroy dark matter. They seem slow to respond when burning flesh, though, and the smell is hardly pleasant either. It reminds me of the injured dog that I found as a little boy growing up in Missouri. It looked at me with that pleading look, kind of a sick patient gives a doctor they trust absolutely. Naturally, I stamped on the mongrel's head. It was a mercy. There were too many in society who would have a similarly damaged disposition, the kindness to snuff out their worthless lives. Oh, this guy, Jesus. Like, he couldn't be more evil and insane, could he? Like, and I love how he, like, he's not even like the deluded psychopath. He straight up admits that he's fucking nuts and amoral, but he just revels in it. I kind of like a villain like that, to be fair. Although I don't think Bachman's the villain here. I think Batman's long dead at this point. I must get more pathway. That little prick DeSantos is usually more than forthcoming with his ingredients, but he says his own suppliers are having problems. I know you, DeSantos. I know you're not a real doctor. I know the kind. I have 5 PhDs, and I can tell when men have been hired for their instincts rather than their knowledge. Meanwhile, the cutting and splicing continues. Oh, and Charlotte, we all know about your little experiment, you stupid bitch. First she kills her partner by accidentally exposing him to a lethal virus, and then she goes gaga for him. That's the sort of beautiful incompetence that slays me. I spent years perfecting the art of the kill, making a murder appear a mishap. She went and did it all completely by accident. Perfect nonsense. I held a subject down today and used my surgical hammer to cave in his windpipe. Then I gouged out his eyes and tried to rip his jaw from its socket. My goodness, what an outburst. I'm becoming careless. I need more pathway. Dr. Milan is starting to worry that my tendencies can't be controlled. You need not worry, I'm still focused on seed. Seed is still just that. A seed. This chrysalis will soon break open and blossom. Successfully bred Homo novi. Wait, hang on, I've got my eye. I have an itchy eye right now. My eye is itching like a bitch. There we go. What was I saying? Successfully bred Homo novi wait in their containment cells while their unsuccessful brethren reduced to a viral mulch that's already breached the containment seals of the ship grow. So failed human operations that he mulched down are the fungus? The fungus evolved from that? Is that what I'm getting from this? You know the big bad fungus that fucked everything up? Its genetic makeup might be a little more than trash, but it is astoundingly tenacious. I have to respect that which kills with such efficiency. I woke up in the emergency room today. Somebody found me on the stairs. I can't remember much. What I do know is that both my fucking legs were in casts. I better get comfortable because Dr. Graham says I'll be up here for at least a month. We die as the Novi cut us down. Right, okay, so the things that are going around fucking people up are confirmed to be this guy's experiments. Fair enough. We've got that down at least. The Homo Novi, the successful ones, are the big bads. I understand that. I'm good with that. We've got some concrete evidence for something at last. But I'm not ready to be replaced by a new species. Our creations are impressive, but I don't share Milan's fanaticism for what is happening here. I must try and make sure one of the lifeboats is available for me. A shame there was not another one for that delectable young thing. What was her name? Callister? I would have liked to have had her around when the ship was going to hell. She's dead, however. How unfortunate. I may be old, but I'll tear anyone who tries to stop me from leaving apart at the limbs. I have survived police investigations, court cases, vengeful spouses, and idealistic lab hands. I will gut any shitbag that tries to prevent my escape, and that includes you, Milan. I will jab out your eyeballs and eat them before I submit to you. Alright, Bachman. Alright. Okay, Bachman. Good. Did Bachman escape? I mean, we're not seeing a corpse, we only have a PDA, so we don't actually know what happened with him. We got some conjoined twins, we got an overgrown, we got a conjoined mass, we have a splayed human body, we have an eviscerated corpse, we have lots of excellent things going on around here. Truly excellent.
How can we allow this?
This is the purpose of the Green Lake. It's not on Earth. People can't see it, so they don't care.
What if they knew?
So what?
Can I just fucking kill this? Guess not. Oh, a liquid nitrogen canister. Didn't spot that before.
If they were more open, this wouldn't happen.
Open to who? The people? Governments?
Other corporations.
What cost?
A bit of our humanity, I suppose.
Want some,
I don't think that'll work.
I want to get rid of this thing. I don't like it. I don't want it to be there. I want it to go away. I want it to just be dead like all the others. Ugh. Oh, well, we learned a lot in here, and we got the liquid nitrogen, which I'm sure will prove very useful. Just hop across before that robot spots me. Give my hands a quick wash. There we go. I feel all clean now. I feel like I've scrubbed away the dirtiness.
No words. I can't even.
What do you see?
What kind of a monster would do this? These women, these poor women. This is torture. This is.
Science.
Seated in the chair is a woman in her mid-30s, head shaves, limbs atrophied, tumescent in her pregnancy. She's connected to a machine that feeds and sedates her.
These women must have families and lives.
You can't do anything for them now. Soon this ship will run out of oxygen. They won't be in pain for much longer.
A second in this place is more torture than anyone should bear.
She's trying to communicate, but her words are little more than slurred vowels. Her throat is dry and she is clearly extremely weak. Oh, what did I just get?
I'm gonna help you. Just close your eyes.
No.
Just breathe in and out. Soon you wake up from this.
You remember us seeing a Renaissance era sculptures of nuns in Holy Communion, their eyes rolled back, bodies contorted in ecstatic agony. There's a hint of that expression across this unconscious woman's face. I guess we take the portable defibrillator. Defibrillator. I'll pronounce that word correctly one day.
And it looks like it's fully charged.
We just use it on them to bring them back to life.
I think that'll just break it.
What, the woman? Yeah, probably. Okay. In the middle there is another power cell. Another one of these. Don't really know what any of this means. But yeah, this is pretty fucked up. Like, the fact that they're still pregnant is interesting. It's only been 2 months, hasn't it, to be fair, so maybe yeah, that probably does make sense. Okay. You have a nice day, ladies. I have places to be. In case you're wondering why the robot just teleported up the pathway, it's because I had to quickly go and take a phone call, because I'm very popular and important, you know. So I was AWOL for a moment there, doing other things, and now I'm back. Hello. Hi, how you doing? I'm kind of wary to do much of anything right now, to be honest. I was just seeing if there was anything up here I could do, but these are on a higher level, aren't they? Took me a moment to realise these are above. And there's this I can interact with, but for that I'm going to have to get past Mr. Roboto over here. So what now is the question? What? How? The stainless steel sink stands out after the successive levels of hell you've traversed. It's equipped with a variety of cleaning agents that are presumably safe for the skin. That's nice. Good job, sink. What we got? We got a bandage. We can make the sink overflow, maybe? Can we do that? Or do we just clean the bandage? Get back in the tunnel. I don't want to risk anything here. The bandage is gone. We did something with the bandage. Is that did we block the sink? Is that what we did? So if we turn the sink, is it going to overflow now? Spilled water. Haha. Haha. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes, I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. So what we do, right? What I'm thinking we possibly do.
Maybe if it...
No. Okay.
No, that won't work.
I was thinking if we liquid nitrogen up the water on the floor, we'd have something cool happening there. Oh, wait. Defibrillator sends an electric shock through things, right? So we wait till the robot's in the water. Got him! God, I'm smart. I am so fucking... I'm genius levels. I'm big bloaty brain. My brain is so big and bloaty that it causes my head to deform in horrible ways. What are we getting? What are we doing? What did we get? What happened? What happened? Happened what? Twisted Metal? That was a game. I've never played Twisted Metal. I think it'll be my sort of thing though, because I like dumb, wacky races type games. Oh. Okay. Probably can't pass through that. We have another sink. We have a power pad.
Warning. The oxygen atmosphere generating system is no longer functioning. Product failure is imminent.
It's fine, we don't need oxygen. We got an airlock. That could be fun. But actually not much else up here, honestly. What happens if we just try and walk through the... We can't walk through this, okay. It's probably just going to be a horrible death, but I wanted to see it because I like horrible death. It's entertaining for me in a weird, morbid sort of way. So there's actually nothing we can do up here. But maybe this this twisted metal will be useful to us. We beat the pregnant women to death with it. He seemed pretty desperate to put them out of their misery. Do we just like fucking ram it in a power cell?
I don't think that'll work.
No.
I don't think that'll work.
No, I don't think it will work either. It was a silly thought. Is there anything else that's jumping out at me right now? I mean, obviously these hybrid fetuses, but wanna hit the pinata? No.
Probably not a good idea.
You want the prize inside us? I'm sorry.
This isn't gonna work.
No. Is this one special? The thing inside the incubator is anathema to nature. The poor creature should not exist, and what life it shows is reluctant and painful. Oh, good. Did I ever use this terminal? I didn't ever use this terminal. I missed stuff. Silly me. Alright, Project Seed. Let's learn a little bit about this. This isn't Project Kitchen Knife, it's Project Seed. It's a different one. I guess Project Kitchen Knife is going to be even more horrific somehow. Update by Dr. G. Milan Kane Corporation, all rights reserved. For the eyes of the Kane Board of Directors only. Seed is an attempt to create the ultimate super soldier by, in simple terms, activating junk strands of human DNA. Over the years, the human genome has shed or made dormant certain strands of its own DNA sequence for various evolutionary reasons. Professor Salam Gerund observed that certain dormant parts of these genes were not so much junk as they were potential, that is, genetic information contained and completely sublimated by a dominant gene. Professor Gerund engineered an early life form based on this original theory by introducing those identified genetic strands in the early stages of embryo formation. The initial concept was intriguing, but his ultimate result was a group of uncontrollable animalistic creatures. Why does that sound familiar? Version 6 of this proposal is to update the same dormant genes into the human makeup by use of genetic splicing, thereby introducing desirable physical and mental characteristics over a generation to produce fast-learning, hard-to-kill and utterly ruthless soldiers, and letting them loose upon a ship of unsuspecting civilians. I guess they can be called civilians. Her vital signs are steady. What's this about? Observation report, okay. Oh, this is... Shit, what was her name? I assume this is the female doctor, right? This is her special project that they were talking about. Her vital signs are steady. Certain hormonal levels are extremely high, but I'm countering this with a judicious administration of depressants in each case. Survival chance is very high. She is young, healthy, and there are no signs of any infections or complications capable of disrupting the birth. Recommendations: keep under observation. Prepare for phase 1 treatment. I just remembered one of the girls higher up back in the early parts of this game was saying she wanted to put herself forward for Project Seed. I wonder if she's one of these girls, or if she actually ever, or if she got turned down or whatever. I can't remember. The subject, despite her promising early progress, appears to be failing. Supposition that she cannot withstand the foreign genetic structure that is being fused into her body. Typical signs of rejection are being displayed. Recommendations: observe for an additional 24 hours. If there are no signs of improvement, then termination and disposal of the patient is recommended. The subject is progressing well. As well as being aesthetically attractive, she has all of the other genetic traits required. Initial concerns about her suitability, voiced by Dr. Milan chiefly due to her number of sexual partners, have been proven unfounded. She will be a perfect carrier. The hybrid DNA is fusing to my satisfaction. Apart from the small amount of pain, her body appears to be coping with the adjustments. I have prescribed her a steady dose of anesthetic to keep her subdued and comfortable. Since delivery, hybrid's subject 302 has been kept inside an incubator due to his respiratory distress. Assisted breathing is required. Cardiac arrest has occurred and the use of automated external defibrillators has been required to revive the child. I deduce that the conditions and sickliness are due to the late molecular bonding between hybrid and host DNA in the mother. A weak nervous system is also highly likely in this case, and the subject's regenerative abilities can be stimulated with steroids. Conclusion: the child is weak but will survive. The mother is suitable for continued breeding. Guess that was one of these three then. Didn't really tell me much I didn't already know, I guess, though. It was a nice little read, though. Can we fucking club this thing to death?
That's just crazy.
I want it to leave. I want it to go. I don't want it here anymore. What can we do? I mean, we don't have the defibrillator anymore. We still have my data tag, but I don't think that's that relevant around here. We've got the high temperature slug gun, which I feel like I'm going to have to use on something. Liquid nitrogen and a piece of metal. What could we potentially do with a high temperature slug gun, liquid nitrogen, and a piece of metal? I feel like we need to be doing something with these, right? Is there anything we can do with these? Can we twisted metal them?
No, that won't work.
Can we high temperature slug gun them? He didn't say no, that won't work, but I think it's just because he was still saying it from the last time. Yeah. And we can't liquid nitrogen them.
No, that won't work.
Is there anything we can combine over here?
I think this will fit. I think that would break. Probably not a good idea. This isn't gonna work.
No, okay. Oh, we can play with these terminals. I didn't actually notice that before. Oh, so much reading. Okay. Mutagen Laboratory Hybrid Reject C. Report by Dr. C. Backman. Subject died during birth. It can only be surmised that the death was due to a failing in the host, as all the reports and tests leading up to the birth showed no signs of fetal defect. Upon further investigation of the woman's medical history, it was noted that she was It was noted that she experienced complications when giving birth to a child previously. This host would not have been used had this been highlighted. In light of her... Doesn't really want to let me scroll down properly. There we go. What was I up to? In light of her medical history, I now assume that this was the cause of the fetal distress and death of the patient. Host is being kept alive and has undergone one transfusion. Recommendation: revoke host's life support order and dispose of the body with hybrid reject C. Wow. Hybrid reject 811. Milan talking again. A highly unusual form of rejection such has not been observed before manifested in this hybrid. It is entirely possible that the mutagenic compounds used to synthesize the hybrid DNA was faulty in this particular instance. Usually with any rejection there is sign of initial bonding and then a breakdown, but in this case there was absolutely no bonding attempted whatsoever. Given the thoroughness with which we create DNA, I suspect that the centrifuge machine for this particular batch was faulty. Repair and a maintenance check of the machine is ordered immediately. Recommendation: destroy what remains and also destroy the feet. Hybrid reject 604. E. Williams. During the autopsy of Hybrid 604, there were signs of renal failure. It appears the kidneys were unable to process the amino acids required for the breakdown of nutrients. The damage to the liver, stomach, and intestines now show the same degenerative patterns. Reason: it is possible that the report of the mother giving birth 3 months prior was in error. Comment: further reports regarding the failure of mutagenic compounds will be finalized. That, again, didn't really help me much with my current predicament, in all honesty. We need to do something with these power cells. That much seems to be obvious to me. It's 3 of them. They all have like a little omega symbol on them. Oh, we could try something with this power pad. I kind of forgot this was here. What can we do with this power pad? Can we shove this in it?
I think that'll work.
Can we blast it?
This isn't gonna work.
Nothing over here. I'm missing something here. Well, obviously I'm missing something, but what am I
I
missing?
don't think that'll work.
What is
Maybe if it...
No.
No, that won't work.
No, it won't work, you're right. Silly Billy. Hang on, a technology that provides an energy boost for heavy duty equipment. Hang on. Hang on. Go back up here. Provide an energy boost for this.
No, that won't work.
Provide an energy boost for this.
No. Crazy.
Provide an energy boost for this. Provide an energy boost for me. I mean, it sounded like something happened when I stood on that. Right? Alright, what does the walkthrough say? I gave it my best shot. I applied all my concentration, all my focus in one place, and it got me nowhere. I have to give up again. The failure I am. Father was right all along. Laboratories is where we are, isn't it? Yeah, high temperature slug gun, bandage, twisted metal, liquid nitrogen canister. Oh, hello, I don't have this. Oh, hello. Right, okay. Take the liquid nitrogen canister from the inventory and place it against the airlock. Really? I never thought a door would be the thing I was supposed to interact with. This game's rude. This game's just rude. Hooray! I never would have got that. How would anyone have got that? It's a locked door. You do things in the room to open the locked door. That's how video games work. This is turning video games on its head. This is the Greys. This is the Greys. Hi, Greys. They've come for me at last. Alright, so it's a frighteningly thin creature, courtesy of Kane Corporation. It's moving but seems to be unaware of its surroundings. It could simply have accepted its fate. Both bodies barely show signs of life. Oh, there's 2. Didn't notice that. It's tiny, but clinging onto life by only the finest thread. It's not a pleasant sight to watch something so small on the fine line between life and death. This body was wasted away to little more than sinew. The creature strains at its bindings. It seems healthy, though judging by the fury in its eyes, it's far from pleased. It's fallen from the operating table only to crawl on an aimless peregrination? Peregrination. That's probably a word. No doubt delirious. Can we touch things near it without getting eaten? I don't want to get eaten. It appears immobile, but its heads frequently scan the room. Ugh. Don't join things at the spine. Of all the places to join things, that seems the worst. Alright, start with this PDA. Yeah, here's Charlotte. Here she is. Oh, Francis, I still lie awake at night thinking of you. You haunt my dreams, my nightmares, and my fantasies. We found love, dear. Even when we worked in Kane's Sydney lab, creating viral strains that could turn a human inside out, we loved and made love. Ours was a match made in heaven. We worked on only the most exciting viruses and pathogens. Our work together was a Mozart requiem, a piece of perfection. My work now is a pale imitation of what was once. Oh, Francis. How long ago was it now? It must be 10 years, but it feels like only yesterday. You were too sick to transfer to the Groom Lake when I did. You died just as I took up my post. But don't fret, my angel. I've begun concocting a way to bring you back to life. Of course she has. I always called you my little Frankenstein, do you remember? Shedding the boundary between life and death was always your ultimate goal. Well, now with Project Seed entering its second phase, my plans can finally be put into practice. But the laboratories are off limits between 2 AM and 4 AM, so that's when I work. Naturally, I prepare all of the calculations and machine settings in my quarters. I keep the subject under a false name in one of those pods, so far, not even Dr. Milan knows what I'm doing. Each major laboratory operation I perform takes no more than an hour, and I always erase the machine records at the end of each one. I'm using your DNA, my darling. With the enhanced regenerative abilities of the genetic material we've already synthesized for Seed, you will be reborn, but you'll be impervious to physical degeneration, immune to sickness and pain. I'll have what you would have wanted and made you perfect. I'll have done what you would have wanted and made you perfect. And when you step healthy, unblemished, and reconstituted from your glass womb, you'll never leave me again. Things have felt a bit strange lately. My work continues, but I swear, darling Francis, I can feel you watching me. I'm trying to work longer hours to complete the new and reborn you, but it's not easy. Marvin has already had a look at some of my work, I'm sure, but he'd have any concept, as if he'd have any concept of what I'm trying to achieve anyway. I still wonder, my darling, why you cursed me as you died. You know it was an accident. I know you remember that. It wasn't murder. I've never committed a murder, not even when we tested the pathogen on those troublesome neighbours. It was an experiment. How were we to know they'd choked to death on their own innards? I suppose death was a possibility, but that was science. I fear for your continued life. I'm afraid Milan knows. Who else knows? Have they contaminated you? I will run extra tests to make sure your code is not flawed or altered in any way. I'm anxious. I started scratching my arms badly. At this rate, I may end up looking like that leprous toad Backman. My dearest Francis, I failed you. Milan knows. He confronted me about it directly. He wants me to make you just like them. I cannot have you crawling around on all fours like some dog in the street. The very idea offends me. I will protect you with my life. You will be reborn. I swear this on my life. I wonder if that was successful. You just keep flailing now. I just want to play with this terminal. Subject 82509, Lana. Subject's host, Tara McCormick, First Lieutenant, Marine Liaison. Subject observations, rambunctious. Subject appears to have inherited her mother's powerful physical build and latent aggression. Lana has the makings of an excellent alpha female candidate. Recommendation, move Lana to a group cell as isolation appears to promote irritability, that's the word. Daryl. Host was Willow Brody, a nurse from the medical deck. Quiet but intelligent. Attempted to pick the lock on his cell yesterday but failed to escape. Excellent puzzle solving skills, and while not especially aggressive, has a strong build. A thinker, clearly. Frederick, whose host was Marie Maxwell, a non-crew member, caterer from Phobos. That wasn't my wife, was it? No. Just trying to think for that on think on that one for a second. Subject shows little of his mother's solid frame, but is a superb hunter. Stalks and learns tactics by observing the others. Appears to be developing a strong tactical mind. And nay, the host was Ellen Marichek, a space tourist. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. One to watch, cunning, extraordinary fast and dangerous, appears to prefer isolation as attempted pairings result in fatalities. Takes an alpha role model. I can't speak. I'm too caught up in the emotions of finding Ellen. Takes an alpha role easily. Dominates the other novae. A definite candidate for Lana's mate. No reaction to that, John? No reaction, John? You're not reacting to that, John? Get this bone mending glue, John. You might have to moan some bends. Yep, that's what I meant to say. Those are the words that were supposed to come out of my face. We can go this way, apparently. think we just stepped into the void. All I see is space gas. There we go. Oh. Interesting. A creature squirms in its medical restraints, giant black eyes in a sunken grey glare with malice. There we go, I got there in the end. Observation wall. Anything on the other side? Hello? Blast it.
No, that won't work.
What else have we got in this room then, aside from the malfunctioning alien? We've got 2 PDAs. Guess we'll get close to this thing. It doesn't seem like a good idea, but
Don't go any further. I'm warning you now. Mel, how could you do this? I do with my children as I see fit. It's barbaric. Spare me the pity of the righteous. Your daughter owes her life to me. What do you know about Rebecca? ARG was good on this ship, Mr. Malachek. Cancer, HIV, Ebola. I eliminated them all. Her life is mine to do with as I choose. Oh yes, I know about everything, Johnny boy. I know about your daughter and all about your wife. You are accountable.
Jan, his signal, John. You need to hurry. We're close.
honestly, I kind of wanted him to keep talking. He was giving me some pretty useful exposition. Thanks for jamming his signal, though, you clearly awful human being. And we got some stuff there, but I want to have a quick read of these PDAs before we go touching things. This is Robert Lincoln. I don't know who he is. I've been reassigned to investigate the disappearance and murder of 2 scientists in the employ of Dr. Milan. A strange matter, to be sure. I've been observing the movements of some of those eggheads, but I can't say I'm too impressed. Doesn't anybody around here record their comings or goings? Or make any notes? There is no traditional organisation in this department whatsoever. Project Seed answers to nobody, this I know, but I thought these scientific types always made notes. They do on their PDAs, I've been reading them all. Not that I care about admin, but I very much care about finding out who's selling weapons-grade secrets. Industrial secrets are a matter of life and death, especially death in this case. My investigation will be thorough, and no stone will be left unturned. The staff here are strange, and in fact, I'd say lots of them are even crazy. But I couldn't care less about that. I just want names and answers. I got this job because I get things done, not because of my warm and caring personality. At the moment, people are taking umbrage to my investigation, but security is a constant and essential part of shipboard life, especially when we're talking about industrial espionage. I'm not sure where the 2 missing scientists are, but it seems, based on the modified records I've found, that they were killed and ejected into space. Any other man would assume that these 2 were criminals, but I don't buy that. As far as suspects go, I've ruled out Charlotte Williams and Marvin DeSantos. Charlotte because she doesn't know where she is half the time, and DeSantos because he's just a smirking shit for brains. I'm confident that he's involved in drug dealing, but I'll give him this. He's cautious and he acts like a real ladies' man. But I know the truth. I've seen him rejected repeatedly at the bar. Since July, I've had to operate under the pretense that I'm an assistant. It's lucky that in my career I had some emergency room experience. The only other person who knows about my true purpose here is Dr. Milan. He's been encouraging. He constantly supplies me with information that I require for my investigation, and at times he's a little over-helpful. Still, he seems honest enough. For the record, I'm well aware of the kind of man Dr. Milan is. I've seen his experiments with my own eyes. I've seen what happens when the bodies are disposed of and the burning fires of the furnaces. But he does what's required to justify the means, and there are few men in this world who would do what has to be done. For that, I admire him. He told me to watch over Dr. Williams' experiments. It seems they're unofficial, and though I'm prepared to report to Kane to have her removed from her position, Dr. Milan immediately overrode my request. I respect him, but to be honest, I don't like having my authority overruled. Batman, of all people, was sniffing around today. It seems the old psychopath suddenly became curious. I asked Dr. Milan for further instructions, and he told me to incapacitate the old man. This I did. A shame I had to break the old guy's kneecaps. That's how he ended up in hospital. Honestly, I was hoping to slit his throat, but Dr. Milan insisted that he remain alive. Alive and in pain, but unable to move. I'm revising my earlier opinion that about DeSantos' character. I think he's a pathetic piece of shit, but I can't read today, but I now believe that he's partly responsible for some of the stolen information. He strikes me as an amateur put up to this by an outside agent. I'll deal with DeSantos soon, but first I've got to monitor his movements. Make one move, pal, and I'll have you. Dr. Milan has earmarked me for one of his experiments. I know this because when I attempted to leave the ship to report to Kane Corp, I discovered that my access was restricted and blocked. I came back to my quarters to find Milan waiting there. He was waiting with two of those hellish critters that he's created. I'm not squeamish, but those things make me nauseous. I'm currently awaiting what he calls processing. I suppose at this stage I should make my peace with God. I've killed many men in my life, and I'll never say that I feel remorse for it. And I won't give Dr. Milan the satisfaction of hearing me pray for mercy. My last notes on this affair are that Dr. Milan himself is at the heart of the events on board the ship. I was blind to it. I refused to believe that he was capable of creating such devastation. I always thought that scientists liked control, but Milan breaks all the rules as far as science is concerned. The leaked information, the fungal growth, the missing scientist, I'm beginning to suspect he even knew that DeSantos was actually selling intelligence and may have fed him the information to sell. To what end, I don't know. I suspect it was because DeSantos kept Bachman drugged to the eyeballs with whatever powerful stimulants he happened to have so Bachman could continue his work. I can hear the machines being turned on. I welcome my fate. At least I know that I did my job for King Corporation. Wow, this guy was dedicated. What's this one? Milan! Wow, I wasn't expecting to find his PDA. This should be interesting. The new year begins, the wheel turns, and the Groom Lake continues to lead the vanguard of scientific discovery for all humankind. Yet I feel disaffected. Even as the peons who work under me celebrate the new year, I wonder why. Why would you celebrate such an asinine concept as an outdated Gregorian calendar on a ship that's currently swimming through the depths of space? The reason is clear. Comfort. They fear the unknown, the alien, the impossible. I do not. I embrace the unforgiving cosmos with open arms. The problem with the research we do is the humans doing it, constrained as they are by conscience, remorse, and sometimes even fear. We try to grasp the infinite and give it a framework that ill-fits the cosmic splendor. This is my 10th year as Special Projects Director for Kane Corporation. Despite my discoveries and quest for knowledge, I'm held back at every turn by paperwork, moralizing scientists, and a group of degenerate toadies that I sit on the board with. If I were rid of them, then my world would be a god. My word would be a god, yeah, okay. Not the word of a corporation. Still, they have their uses. Their research is funded by Kane, and the Groom Lake is kept running by the money and personnel they provide. But the time will come when all this changes. You mark my words. I'm inundated with emails from all departments about inconsistencies with storage and contaminated samples. The grand masquerade is sometimes more tedious than it's actually worth. Worst of all was Dr. Way, and that technician, Miss Callister, was it? I normally make short work of such troublemakers, but it hardly seems worthwhile. Troublemakers must be allowed to make trouble, because if they disappear, that legitimizes their claims and somebody will always take up the fallen Crusader's torch. Dr. Bachman's tendencies are becoming harder to restrain. I'm well aware of his shortcomings. The old man is as brilliant as he is deranged, yet manages to go about his work with a sociopathic glee. He's useful to have around. He has requested more bodies for seed, specifically more women who were recently pregnant. That is problematic, as we have very few such women on board, and imports are not easy to come by. We may have to play this one under the radar. That fool Dr. Gray complained yet again about his beloved insects becoming more aggressive as the result of power outages. So what? Let them spill out into the decks as far as I'm concerned. The importance of seed outranks the hydroponics project by 1,000 to 1. I do like playing chess with Dr. Gray, of course. I win every time. A little fact he's unlikely to tell anyone, although he does seem quite happy to contact anyone who's interested with the opinion that he'd be the next best candidate for my job. Sebastian, you could not handle what I do. If you believe otherwise, then you are as great a fool as I imagine you to be. When the day that I foresee comes, your rotting corpse will be under my feet, and I will laugh. Dr. Williams is still under the delusion that I don't know about her personal research. Officially, it's illegal for staff to conduct their own research, but this is interesting. Recreating a dead lover in the form of a hybrid? How fascinating. If it works, I'll make use of it. If it doesn't, then I'll burn it with the rest of the rejects. The woman is obsessed, and I know that DeSantos is playing no small part in feeding her delusions. I know her secret research won't cause me any problems, or I would never have allowed her on Project Seed. So it seems contaminated waste from the corpse disposal overspill is contaminating my ship. It's causing fungal growths, so my various drones tell me. The fungus is a riveting proposition, though. While I'm angry at Dr. Batman for terminating more subjects than is strictly necessary, those unintended side effects are fascinating. I intimated as much to Dr. Gray, and of course stroked his ego with hints of promotion and glory. He'll keep the fungus alive. The engineers want it destroyed, but I'm sure we can delay that. The experiment is becoming more engaging by the day, and I haven't had to lift a finger. So while they clog up my inbox with demands that Rome burns, I plan to play the violin. We're more than secure here anyway, and this is a certain inevitability about it. I must record the daily developments as the experiment grows. Wow, he just straight up wanted everyone outside of Seed to just perish. In nutcase. It is as I foresaw, panic, destruction and mayhem, and yet Seed continues apace. Once the fervour and the flame dies down, we'll sweep the decks of detritus and repurpose all of it for my beautiful hybrid creations. No more growing plants for the good of mankind. God is no longer in the machine, my friends. I am God. My beautiful children have excelled themselves. They kill, they learn, they adapt. A primal species without any of the trappings of morality. It's their time now. They almost came to be once many years ago, but were snuffed out by humanity, afraid of its natural successors. This systematic extermination was given a name, the Eugenics Wars. The public knew it as corporate warfare. In truth, it was a coordinated genocide. Humanity wasn't ready for Professor Gerun's outstanding discovery and sought to destroy it. His work was not perfect, of course, and that's where I came in. I spent most of my life as part of Kane trying to access Professor Gerun's original work. Old Man Kane pushed me to the top because we shared an ideal: utilization of science for the perfection of humanity. Where we differed was the methods by which this was to be achieved. Not that we had much more to say after I held that pillow to his face as he lay in a hospital bed, all for a higher purpose. Creation of our species from raw subjects will become impossible now that the crew are dead, dying or unclean, but that's hardly an issue. Any subjects who are flawed or imperfect have been turned into fertilizer that will nurture the perfection of the surviving race. Now the challenge is moving the Groom Lake out of range of any other ships. No one can be allowed to escape this ship alive. Any good, strong survivors will become members of the new race. I am their creator. I control. I transcend. DeSantos, I'm so very disappointed in you. A distress signal? Ah, so he did get the distress signal out. I thought we were of one mind here in Seed. I'll castrate and destroy you for this betrayal. Your flawed body is hardly worthy of becoming one of my children, but for now I must turn off this accursed signal. You cannot hide from me, Marvin, you drug-peddling little fuck. Ah, the drug dealer was like the hero in the end, or tried to be the hero at least. Anyway, I think that's probably enough for today. We'll just leave this alien writhing next to us, and we'll come back to this probably tomorrow, because I've got no other games planned at the moment. And, see what happens next, I suppose. This has been very informative today. Very informative indeed. And, fuck. Fuck, in a word. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.